motivation to come back. So I think the only way they really have a fighting chance is, I mean, starting with pistol is always nice, but first rifle, second rifle, pretty much musts in my eyes.
Yeah, well, and they have to slow this down. They have to
Yeah.
play this very disciplined the whole way through. Ryu's going to have to be extremely vocal in making sure that CLG doesn't create any chances for Liquid to pull, it seems, any mistakes at all. So started off CLG, obviously their map choice. Liquid gets side choice. They start CT naturally, and Stan and Elige will post up inside to be passive hold all the way around with a retake toward A, very standard. With Nitro going utility, Twist going with the kit.
I think they might just throw this as a alert smoke, perhaps trying to bait something out from Liquid, but with little resistance and hearing shots far off in the distance, I think they'll get a good read that it's a retake. And Ethan's just going to flash. They'll go. They're splitting up highway. We'll get to know all of this. So there's going to be an action-packed retake. Plus, Nitro has a molly, so that's an interesting note.
Interesting that they actually went for the split highway expecting the retake, because again, that's pretty standard. But the fact that no one was at highway at all is even more curious in some ways. And it has worked out well for CLG, and the fact that as soon as highway's clear, they can swing toward the truck. They take down 2 immediately, Nitro and Twist. But JDM still working through, and they are going to swing back through Z. That's going to create FNS to start to look around. No smokes to cover off the position, so if they can get crossfire set up, it'll be perfect for CLG. That's what Ricky does. FNS pops out. Good start as they keep all 5 alive, and a rather convincing pistol.
Way better start. And that was an interesting setup from Liquid, actually. They were playing passive Z, passive truck, and a stacking to be expecting, as most typical pistol rounds, at least. If you look at it statistically, most pistol rounds on cash head towards B on T side. And Liquid's retake just didn't even get a chance to get off the ground due to the frags from CLG on those rotations. So now CLG look to string a couple rounds together. Liquid have been doing this thing I've been noticing more teams do lately, and it's good to see Tier 1 teams doing it, is, especially on CT side, when you lose pistol, you don't go all in. You just get upgraded pistols, and you get actually 2 rounds instead of 1 of upgraded pistols. Of course, minus the armor and utility.
Also, the saving onto the armor, without the armor rather, brings out the ops a little bit sooner. We know it's a double op map as well. Liquid a little less inclined to run it. Interestingly, Elige just brought it out in the past. Twist at lockers. It's a decent position to have, especially with a deagle if you can find the headshot lineup early. That also relies on them heading that direction. So far, they're in mid. Double peek out, and Stan and Nitro do the damage to take down Ethan. He hardly gets any damage in return, so Twist and Nitro both get away. With mere scratches as Cutler wants to lurk out. Good find, FNS. Found Twist at lockers. That takes away the headshot potential, and Stan rather boldly walks toward the forklift before the smoke blooms. That gives Cutler the vision, but not the shot. He does get Elige late, but Stan still lurks in behind. PG-50 can't do anything. It will for Nitro. At least more damage done to the economy, but it's the round for CLG.
Good for them to stabilize. They lose 1 AK, but all they care about at this point are rounds. Keeping Liquid as honest as possible. And getting that wiggle room on the T side. I imagine we'll see another round of just upgraded pistols. Looking like the case. Liquid went for a little bit of a stack there, so I imagine perhaps we'll get a little aggression out of this round. They don't invest as much. They just scale it down. They're actually going to play a default with this. They're banking on the lurk to CLG, catching a couple players off guard, but it looks like CLG have different plans. They're just going to try to get up to the A site. Easy opening frag for Ethan. As Elige tries to get them on the cross, but it should be relatively just a free lease for CLG.
Tried everything, Ethan, to get that kill. So the max hand. He'll get those 2 instead. Nitro and JDM go down, so good 4 kills for him on the SMG. Tried his utmost and level best last map in certain situations with SMG, but couldn't pull it off. Not much really went their way this time. As you said, they need the start, but now we get into the gun rounds. They're going to keep the SMGs, try and go for a bit of a bonus with both Kusta and Ethan. Leaves them off the op for now. Speaking of, saved armor. As predicted, JDM goes immediately onto it, so we'll see how aggressive he wants to be. Elige will cover off mid. That's pretty natural for them. Play the swing and rotation. Molotov to deny the boost early with a smoke down garage. It gives them the freedom of movement, but it's going to be an execution piece from CLG. And naturally so. No ops to play picks. You've got 2 SMGs. You want to try and get it as quickly as you can toward the site.
Yeah, with no head armor, these MAC-10s certainly have a chance to rip through these Liquid members. And so they throw the smokes. And in 2 waves to try to bait out utility from Liquid. Wave 1 is utility wave. Wave 2 is commitment. Elige is going to play headshot angle. They find Kusta here.
drop off for the reload, but Nitro has the cover to swing around when they try and push through toward quad. Twist still on the bench as well. Has to be careful of a Molotov, which is now extinguished behind him. Good hold and counter off, and the fact with the late boost, Lige was able to get better position, tried to flash himself back in, but Twist still exists, and down everyone goes. In fact, but again, bonus round. Unfortunately, no kills gathered at all by the SMG, so they won't get the return on investment, or lack thereof, as they kept them over. But still, there'll be money for the buy on the CLG side.
I like that from CLG. They throw a first wave of smokes, as I mentioned, trying to bait any kind of utility. Instead, Liquid don't really throw much back. They just straight up throw numbers in the site. And they just overwhelm CLG as they try to fight out through their own smokes after that. As now, CLG will get the real guns out. They'll have that pick potential Acosta. So maybe it was just train or Inferno dependent for the Ricky towards top banana, which was an interesting dynamic. I'm excited to see that evolve in the future, but for now, it'll be Kusta back in his comfort zone.
Smokes down early and Twists to wait. JDM this time around has aggressive stance to watch B Halls, but a boost for Stan more importantly as a result of it. T-side up of Kusta has yet to get any vision, even though he is boosted. And the boost is peculiar because he's got to go. He's watching White Box instead, but if he goes and finds Nitro, it's the re-peak potential of Stan that becomes the problem. Ethan through. Stan waiting to time this. Goes for the long shot instead, and Ethan gets the kill immediately. Elise does peek out, and on top of that, Kusta unscopes at exactly the wrong time. Allows Elise the second kill. Holding White Box wraparound potential, but he wants to get aggressive on Ricky instead. It's a shadow position, but he knows that they're tagged off, and he's got trade potential. They can take more than just the man advantage. He definitely saw them commit, and reads it well.
In the meantime, CLG have taken over this side of the map and this bomb site specifically. That's Cutler. If he can keep Elise at bay, maybe wear down the clock and signal out the H-Rock player, but if Twist is going to hit shots like that on you and you don't even get a chance to peek, it's made nearly impossible. If it's just FNS up in hand, we'll get the first. They're going to solo peek it. Second jumps across, closes his door, and that was just smart from Twist. Tries to bait him out. The other player would have been on bomb. And Liquid, 2 rifle rounds back-to-back. I said CLG have to come out and pick up rifles. Otherwise, things may get very dicey early.
The read from FNS was that as soon as the Liege came for the flank at A main and was alone, that Twist was going to go out towards Secret, or just towards Squeaky, excuse me. And he actually headed that direction but went back, and the Liege was smart to continue on and push past it or get caught out in the immediate fight. But once he got out of that door position, yeah, pretty limited with the op. The op really planted for him. They shot it. Twist has control of the situation pretty straightforward. It's double op brought out now for Liquid, so it is Twist that's going to be the one to hold it.
That's a little rare. Normally Nitro, right?
I think it's been a Liege a few times I've seen them. They don't run it too commonly.
They switch it up a bit.
I'm trying to think against Vega who they ran. I think it was the Liege that ran it against Vega.
Maybe CLG's pistols will be able to reel this round back in.
Kind of unfortunate Ethan's the one without armor that goes for the boost. And that's the one the nade hits, so he goes down to 47.
Look at that setup from Liquid. 1 back B site, 2 injectors, and already a 3rd on the way close outside event. They have a great read because they peaked A main, and this is just going to be shut down just by the pure amount of numbers and riflers here.
Yeah, good find. JDM again. Can't quite line it up. Got to get away from the Molotovs, leaves him in the open, but the incandescents will blind the shots, at least until FNS is able to spray through. I do say spray, CZ. Bounce nade back out to get some further damage in so Nitro can hold the line, and he'll do so rather convincingly against just the pistol of FNS. Cutler's even given up on that approach and gone back to consider a flank rotation. Good flash. He's just in the open. He just bailed off as fast as he could, which was the right decision. That means they're going to try and take over the vents. Ricky getting close. Good shot. Cutler, that certainly allows Ricky to get in vents and skates, but it's a re-peek from Stan that no one was expecting.
I've seen one moment from Ricky's Deagle. He was able to clutch it on overpass. Will we get a second one on Cash? But with 10 seconds, I think it's nearly impossible. And that's exactly the case. He'll hang on to the M4. one saving grace is they really don't know where he is, so...
Be careful, though, because there is going to be a peak. If he goes down, remember, we've got extended time. He's got no money. I do agree with what Skadoodle said in the tweet, and it
The 7
followed
seconds?
up. Yeah, because Peter said the same thing yesterday. He lost his op to the bomb when he otherwise shouldn't have, and it does really hinder economy. In this case, especially, it was close. I don't think he would have been peaked in time with the standard set, so that really, really hurts. $150 for Ricky. Okay, so he's, sorry, excuse me. He had a little more than that. He spent $2,400, but still puts him way lower than anyone else on his team, so the timeout called as a result.
We'll see if Liquid are going to fight for mid. That's what they did in the previous round against these Pistols. They had 2 players, 1 player in checkers, 1 in vent, and another player very close mid in Elige. So Liquid are showing us already some dynamics on Cash. Map fair. They don't play it as often as you'd perhaps like to see, it being an NA map. But CLG, I think they need to put up a decent number here on their T side, or things will evolve into some problems.
Kusta trying to get an angle. So much usage of the vents from Liquid, it's extremely powerful. The fact that they're able to get in there and there's been no Molotovs to really clear the vent position has been a bit of a problem as well. Again, here they're going for a late look toward door. This could work, though, because 2 toward B, they've caused a rotation, and out the door they go. Twist is the only one there with the AWP. He's going to try and get clever and sneak behind them. They don't see him. He's pre-scoped. That gives him silence. It gives him the angle. He takes down Ethan and goes for a no-scope. Ricky's found. Twist does it all alone, and the fact that they overlook him, he gets a bit lucky with timing. Goes to a pistol. Can't quite get Cutler down. He found Elige beforehand, so still a chance to salvage the round on CLG's behalf.
Finesse. He's going to peek A main. Risky, but he finds the head. Is it just JDM? And they shouldn't peek him at this point. Should just be going through the motions, letting the clock tick down. And that is what they'll do. So JDM will try to scratch his way out of here. And he will hang on to the op. CLG will hang on to round 4.
Good recovery.
Yeah, Twist almost broke that completely.
Yeah, 5 versus 3. The fact that they got so aggressive and wrapping around behind the red and he couldn't hit the second shot on Cutler. Saves it, but that was so close. Twist, man, I thought he was out of that. Especially as the secondary opper. This first shot was so tight on Ethan.
If he had any other pistol than a USP, maybe he wins that.
Yeah, I mean, it's debatable against the armor especially, but I mean, as soon as Cutler had the first shot toward Highway, it gave him the ability to peek whenever he wanted,
Yep.
So it was pretty straightforward and fair. Gun still available to Liquid. And Ricky this time will have a gun, thankfully. Although they won the last round, he was pretty limited. Molotov bounces rather shy. I think you can actually still get on the back side of the canopy right now at drop, but no one's trying to do so. Instead, they want Kusta to try and find a shot. So flash bounce gets Ricky closer. Kusta just got the angle. He's back on the op. Keep that in mind.
Interesting setup towards mid. With JDM pushed up close mid with an op and Twist holding his boost. Don't know how prepared CLG will be for this. It's one of those one-off plays that can completely catch you off guard. Finesse is holding for a push, but perhaps not a hold.
So they've at least cleared behind box B. So slow from CLG this time, and Liquid doesn't want to give them anything. Lee's just trying to play reverse smoke A main, but that has a timer on it. And he'll get off of it. Re-smoked, it's a bit shallow anyway, so he wouldn't have the vision. I say he's going to get off of it, but actually with the second smoke, he's going to get even closer. So the opposite approach. And the CT's getting cash. You can do this. You can afford to push forward to find information. As a result of his stance as well, it's an immediate rotation off toward mid with JDM at the bottom of Highway, and Nitro closer to the B side, compensating for the fact that they've lost Twist. Good find for JDM to go down, but Elige keeps back and holds off with Stan still inside of checkers. He has to get out of position. No smoke down to do so. Spray instead. That'll do. Fight forward. And instead of flying away, he gets the kills easily, and that allows Nitro again, who rotated over. So very quick rotation all on the back of Elige. Now, Elige didn't do much in that. The fact that he went down, okay, great, that's fine. Or excuse me, the fact that he was so far forward is fine because it gives him the information, and Twist being down was compensated for immediately.
The fact that Stan doesn't get traded in this spot. Perhaps the spacing's a bit off here for CLG.
Just timing. Should have been ready to read that and had a double peek position. They knew that they already cleared the backside of the checker's position. As soon as he finds one and he gets forced off, they should be ready to combat that. He's got to exit somehow.
Second pause for CLG, and we're just starting round 9. Suppose that shows you, without pistol, how in shambles the rifles have been. They've been close, and they've had their moments of opportunity of clutching, but perhaps there's something to be said there.
It's unfortunate for CLG that they've got to sit back on CZs, but if somehow they can, by a stroke of luck, win this round, they'll break Liquid as well.
Double up becomes expensive over time.
Oh, absolutely.
And it is quite early for Liquid to have this out, to be fair as well.
Trip over each other.
Yeah. Oh, the deep molly.
Deep molly, but then the smoke went off on top of it, so bit of a miscue. Either way, they get stand down. JDM misses a shot. This could be when the pistols start to attack. They expect him to retreat. He goes forward, but they'll wrap around. He knows it. Somehow JDM still hits, but Ethan eventually pulls it back. That gave a bit of time to Nitro to rotate, but the smoke's off. Even though there was a gap, he didn't have the angle. Means that they can get to the site. They need the plant immediately, though.
He's going to plant for B main. That molly will take care of him. Yeah, he commits to the plant at least. But with Ethan being tagged here, he can't afford to take anything in his direction. And Ricky, I mean, with the UMP, perhaps he's better off to stick with the Deagle. Now in a 1v3, bomb is, keep in mind, planted for him. But here comes Twist, misses the shot, clean up from Ricky, but a great double peek and spacing from Elige, as Liquid will win another rifle round to go 5-4. The one saving grace is the bomb plant from CLG, but with 1900 plus 800.
So close.
Yeah.
Not even the defuse, but so close in the fact that they keep the double up, sure, but they go aggressive. Stan gets caught with an SMG, and JDM's positioning is so far forward in checker that arguably he shouldn't have gotten away with what he did. The fact he got 2 and that was extremely good on his behalf. But if CLG was able to trade that sooner, keep 4 alive, get to the site more cleanly, because by the time they get to the site, keep in mind, Nitro had already sprayed through and had it to the fact that when the Molotov came in, it put them immediately into a 2-man post plant without much to work with. So that could have gone much better. It was CZs to start it off. It does still keep the economy honest on the Liquid side. It doesn't build them up to where they could have been, and it gives CLG a better chance still, but they have to take the double ego on the chin, unfortunately, even with the bomb plant.
Well, very passive from CLG, and another nade. It's been Ethan and Cutler have been kind of unlucky with those nades coming over.
I mean, they're the ones that have been going to the drop, so naturally they're the ones that are going to receive those.
46-74. And Elige simply just peeks it out. He gets the call that Squeaky was open. It will get closed, but his molly will keep that player at bay. So double up and towards the A site, and CLG would love another bomb plant. That would spell a lot of good for the next buy round.
Close Twist and JDM shutting it down. JDM tagged up considerably, but that's fine. He's on the off site, rotating back over. The rest of the action goes to where the rifles are, and now Liquid starts to build with all 5 staying alive. Double op stays out on the other side. Ooh, I was going to say don't go glass cannon T side, so it's going to be 5 AK-47s, Kusta included. Good utility, though. They've got 5 smokes. They can look for a set piece. They've been struggling to get mid-control. Pistol round, it was gifted to them, obviously, in the retake at A, but they've been struggling to get the mid-control to really execute A as late as they'd like to. Instead, it's been early defaults.
Looked like they may have wanted to get aggressive towards B. But the nice thing is, I believe they boosted Stan and Vent, so JDM can play passive and just listen to the sound cues that Stan will pick up here. Is that a CT smoke?
Yeah, it's
That's from A main, right?
Yeah, and Elige. He pushed all the way in. So the fact that they have that down as well gives Elige the stance that he needs. More importantly, though, the fact that Stan's back inside of the vents. Finally, okay, the Molotov didn't actually go. Okay, it did. Okay, my perspective seems skewed. I was going to say it didn't actually go that. No, it didn't. So Stan's still in there. The fact that they finally put one in there is encouraging, but they don't clear it correctly. So Stan can still pop out and get toward them. I think Kusta's aware of it, so he's checking the angle. But they haven't gone mid enough to realize that Ventus had been such a problem for them. And now Stan peeking out late will realize no one else is there. Twist and Nitro find kills. Nitro will sacrifice himself in doing so, but good read from Ricky. Late turn towards Stan. Tag to 2, but the AK wins it. JDM, I was going to say, should win that duel.
Now it's Kusta. Finds Quad. Is he going to check his left? No, Elige does a nice job of staying very unreadable in that situation from playing towards sight and just never staying still. They'll pick up a new position, and CLG continue to struggle on rifle rounds. I mean, you take away the pistol win, they've gotten 1 round, essentially.
Yeah, they're not getting enough map control at all. Even with that highway control that time, tag Ricky so much, and Nitro had already done this job. Nitro getting 2 kills towards Squeaky Door. They had no entrance.
CLG are broken again. Now they're just going to go for double mollies. They're realizing how frequent they've liked to boost Ethan and co up there early. As the bomb will be alone in A main, and 2 players from CLG are looking to go out through that squeaky door. And they're actually going to go. Ricky tries to focus towards Elige, but he's so alone. That molly separates them perfectly.
Twist called it as well. He heard them open the door, so he just called for the rotation back up highway. Elige, though, going down. Cutler and Ethan finding kills. Door's still open. That's going to open the A site. Or at least force a rotation to it. They haven't solved Twist with the AWP. But they'll rotate the bomb around. They need to grab guns off this. They can't, though. They're so far back in the way that they picked it. Again, they're going to go late toward the vents. Good boost up. Stan takes control. Liquid are showing us, like, Vents 101, like old school 2014 meta cache style. Just control the vents, CT side, control all of mid in the process, and get fast rotations, and it's working out so well. CLG has done really nothing to deal with it, including last round when they missed the Molotov, so.
They missed it, didn't they?
Yeah, towards A, and Twist still burrowed in behind Quad. Will funnel Cutler toward OK Truck, but Nitro's not ready for that, so good kill at least. Twist takes the initiative to go back out with the USP. He's able to do no further damage, and it's Liquid now doubling up 8-4. And as you say, still only 1 gun round for CLG, but they'll have them again this round at the very least.
You can't afford to miss that molly in the vents.
Who's just going to do it? Oh, he doesn't. I thought they were going to go up. I thought they were going to get desperate.
He hasn't. Has he had it once on the T side yet?
Yeah, I think he's had it twice, actually.
Twice?
Yeah. Once for sure, but I think twice.
I mean, mid control seems easy for CLG here. I mean, they have no problem getting out. Well, as you mentioned, it's just the timing in the vent. It's been shut down. And Elise towards highway box has just been a big nuisance for that Liquid side. You mentioned it yesterday, a rifle highway is more difficult to deal with than an op.
It's just a better position for a rifle in my mind because you're more dynamic. You can actually swing and catch out the door. Whereas the op, when they get up close, you're kind of overwhelmed. You get pinched pretty easily, and Twist aggressive this time. Although he gets Kusta, gets pulled back by Ethan. And this pulls again the highway rotation, so Nitro's the one to do so. This time he's going to burrow behind the forklift, knowing that they're burrowed in A main, and no one pursuing mid because, again, Stan boosted. He gets the read. Massive gap behind the smoke. It's intended to cover off Quad, but the gap behind the door gives Nitro a chance to spot exactly what Cutler's going to be up to, though. Try and bounce the Molotov in behind, force Nitro to the corner. Gives Ethan a chance to wrap in directly to the left. Finesse, you've got to go directly to the left. You've left a gap. Oh. Nitro's backed off it, thankfully. In fact, he went the other direction. He went through it behind them to find Ethan. Which is the only reason the ball made it through in FNS's hands, but then they just run directly toward Elige.
I have no clue how Elige doesn't go down there. It's a spray transfer. As it's Ricky in a 1v3, and there's the rotation from JDM. And you can see how calm, cool, and collected Liquid are in these situations. There's just zero panic.
Well, there's also zero coordination on the take. I mean, that Molotov that was bounced by Cutler off red is to cover the backside of forklift, which leaves Nitro nowhere to go except to the corner. Now, Nitro manned up and actually ran through the smoke, which is kind of interesting. But let's say he didn't. Let's say he stays. FNS ran in with his back turned to that position. So they've done everything to limit the position available to Nitro, and yet still don't check the one corner where he should be. So
the one corner
again,
the plays made for, yeah.
I won't say got lucky because it still didn't work out for them, but he got by because Nitro pushed through, but he would have gone down either way. And the fact that Elise was able to swing out, had all the information based on Nitro calling, it's just, again, there's not a lot of coordination. I mean, this is CLG's map choice. I would have expected better on the takes in that regard.
And a third pause in one half. It's a lot of moments needed to try to calm yourself and get some words from you. As on round 14, they will get what they can. But again, look at the switch up from Liquid. They send Nitro towards mid. He's able to molly it. He'll get an event right away. And CLG's default doesn't net them. I don't remember a time when they got the opening pick cleanly. I don't think it's happened in quite some time.
Yeah, I'll get back to you on that one.
Yeah.
Because the last round they won was actually when they were down 5-3. Twist got the opening 2 kills. But at least then they got the site clean. And it was actually due to a decent fake rotation toward B. Either way, Nitro's the one inside of the vents this time. 1-2-2 essentially in mid, but Nitro can swing to B as well, which has a lot more presence than normal. Deep smoke will allow Nitro to cross out should he like to do so. Okay, gap in it, but they'll still go. Crisscross smokes allow access to vents in mid.
Wonder if they're going to commit to this.
If they commit now, FNS in, he can't go back unless through the tunnels. But the problem is they have to go back to the bomb, so he needs to just hold position for them. And I think they want to rely on him to be a fake. If they can get a rotation off of it, they've got Ricky there, but the problem is pushed up again, as always, is Elysian. He's going to swing as they go to the door. He might be directly behind them. He is, takes bomb as well. He can fall back. Don't babysit bomb in that position. It's too far out, too far beyond the enemy lines, but he's done his job, and more so he takes down Kusta. Should be round done, even if Cutler wants to swing out late. Not much he can do. Molotov was there. He knew it. Couldn't open it in time. Couldn't catch Twist. Twist turns around. Doesn't matter. Ooh, okay, maybe it does. I was going to say because Elise was in the corner to follow it up, but Nitro gets position on highway. We find 10 rounds for Liquid.
Liquid do a crazy good job of knowing when to get map control elsewhere. As soon as those smokes got thrown towards mid, they immediately made the decision we have to go somewhere. And Elise has been playing highway box, and he's the one to go back towards AMA, and he's the one to push and get that info. And they have a great read on what's going on towards B as well. They know there's pressure there, and Liquid are everywhere, just all the time.
It has a lot to do with the fact that they're getting so much vent control and not being stifled for doing so, because Elysia is able to push up A main every single time, knowing that they've got mid covered.
Great flash.
If you're not going to lose highway, there's no punishment for getting aggressive on A. If you get aggressive on A and lose highway, well, then you're kind of locking yourself out of your own sight. But Stan pushed up this time behind the smoke. He spots it and actually wins the spray in the SMG, because Stan can't trace and follow the crouch walk. Smoke down means JDM has to change angle, can't get the headshot position. Ethan tries to line up. They still have mid control on the other side of Enselee's just making sure no one's going to sneak in behind him late lurk and catch him off when he goes for the rotation. Ethan, great job again to find the site. Now they've got the opening pick cleanly.
Now they force Liquid into a retake towards B, which we haven't seen yet, I don't believe. Actually, once. This is the second time. So how is this retake going to play out on round 15? They're out of utility. Nitro's tagged. This Molly may just do the job. It's going to force Elige out at least as soon as it gets thrown towards heaven. Nitro will take the op, being low on HP. That Molly again is going to force Elige to commit to it. And Ethan's got the one. Great flash in. Actually, that was a teammate flash.
This one's theirs finally cleanly as well. And that's due to the fact that, first off, able to isolate inside the site. They win the opening duel, and Nitro, or rather, excuse me, Elige was pretty preoccupied in mid, even though he had access to the vents. But finally, CLG get one back, 10-5. They need the second half pistol. That goes without saying, but hopefully their CT side can be more convincing. Especially than it was on Inferno, to put it lightly.
Yeah. But in hindsight, that is 2 rifle rounds out of 15, out of X amount and a half.
Oh, yeah, I mean, no pistol there.
Yeah.
You're really digging at it. Liquid, I think, showing us the team that they should have been yesterday, arguably. I mean, they were extremely disappointed not to have made it through the qualifier and made the major last time. They went to Cologne immediately after. They've been, I think in a lot of people's eyes, the best NA team right now, even with Cloud9, who are already in the qualifier by virtue of being in the major last time as one of the top 16 teams.
Well, JDM went to the bathroom.
Of course he did. He was one of the only ones that actually went between maps as well.
Is this an ongoing theme with JDM in the
Don't know.
halftime Ps?
Big muscles, tiny bladder.
Plausible. Could be how they perhaps lifting things he drinks. A little pre-workout might mess you up a little bit. We finally get to see Cutler's face.
He doesn't look too happy, does
No.
he? No one's really looking that positive on the CLG side.
Wonder what the play is going to be here.
FNS going for a yawn.
That's a good call.
Meanwhile, super relaxed on the
They're all tired.
Liquid side.
Jeez.
Stand on the board.
He does. He really does.
Should I? Well, they have 2 minutes at half, okay? So if he's
Yeah.
back into the 2 minutes, I don't know what the rule set is for this event, let's be honest. And I don't know how strict the admins are going to be. Technically speaking, though, you have 2 minutes at halftime, which would apply. You could arguably get up out of your chair. I don't know if it's in the rule set that you can, but you could arguably use it in that time, and if you're back, you're fine. But I know at Malmo last year, they charged NIP a timeout for this, for using the bathroom during such time that they were live. JDM's back,
Nice.
much to the delight of everyone in the room.
It wasn't that quick of a peek, though.
It wasn't that long. It doesn't count as a timeout, by the way.
They're okay.
I figured it didn't, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's
there
what-
have been situations when
that
they've
was the
done that.
situation.
I don't think it's that big of a deal. I
No.
don't think CLG is going to be too annoyed with it. They actually arguably need the time to speak things over, even though they haven't.
Yeah, they have more to be annoyed about, I suppose. No one's even like looking at each other, talking at all.
I don't know. Where this doesn't count as a timeout, I'm wondering if they left everyone muted. I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
yeah, I'm
admins
not
know
sure.
what's going on. But anyway,
Yeah, they could have left him muted.
if it was like an 8-7 half and CLG had momentum, I would be a little bit annoyed that they took the extra time. I might get a little fussy there. But like I said, CLG's pretty slow into this, even though they won the last round. I would say they're not going to be that annoyed by losing momentum they didn't have. Let's just put it that way.
Well, here we go into the second half again, 10-5. Liquid are looking to move on and grab that final minor. Well, the major.
I know it's
slot.
confusing, right?
Yeah,
they're,
yeah.
they're looking
Minor,
to take
major,
the minor
yeah.
position
The minor
to the main
position.
qualifier.
That's
They're looking
basically
to
the-
qualify for the qualifier.
That's the actual
how it
official name
works.
to it. Yeah.
Ricky, good position, takes down Twist. This will be the second pistol for CLG if they can pull it off. One-man advantage, and they'll fall away accordingly. 74 HP still as Nitro goes aggressive. Elige has to trade off of Ethan. And now Stan following it up does bring it to 3 versus 3, and on top of that, they get the A-bomb site with Kid on Kusta for the retake. Ricky's going to try it. He's failed it. He's so good with movement mechanics, but it's a risk. He wanted to go reverse drop and get the fast rotation, but not going to work.
Good thing he didn't. He finds a leaves. That was a nice from Cutler. I've been impressed with his pistols. That stands on 13, and he is playing the smoke out.
There's no way he gets this. Kusta's got a kit. He's already on it, turning as well. It's lined up, but he's not going to have the angle. I say that he did get one shot into him. He's down to 44, but Stan, nothing he can do. Smoked off, and as you say, Ricky, perhaps trying to be a little bit flamboyant when he didn't need to. Did turn around at least to get the kill on the Elige, so it worked out in the end.
The shot was a little dirty. Reminded me of almost a 1.6 kill where the bodies used to do whatever they wanted to. And now Liquid, with that plant, can go ahead and just take a casual jaunt into this round. And who else is leading the scoreboard for Liquid other than Legion Twist? Not a surprise anymore. And CLG will get the typical FAMASes, which is good to see it come back in towards better. The lone rifle out. And they instantly, again, an interesting point into this one is they all get head armor.
It's true, actually. But against pistols, that makes sense. CT side, when guns are up on ops and AKs, not as important, but with pistols, yeah, definitely. I can definitely understand why they would. Twist. Flashed off, has to drop off the garage. Can't get the wraparound toward White that he wants, and Kusta's able to step up there for it. Finally, will go down to JDM, and Twist finds Ethan. So opens highway. The problem is the bomb's dropped. He's going to go back for it. And he's hesitant to do so in the fact that they know Vents is likely a possibility in a late boost as well. Twist gets a gun, but gets peeked from FNS exactly when he wanted to peek toward the Vents. So down he goes, and CLG finds 7. They need to get 8. That goes without saying. No bomb plants from Liquid, but the save means that they can actually... Excuse me, what am I saying? No bomb plants. There was a bomb plant in round 1. Why didn't you correct me? It's your fault. So they'll go for the early buy. It's not actually your fault.
I'll take responsibility.
No,
That's
don't.
Okay.
Don't.
I need to take some
Blame me.
responsibility in my life.
Me too.
So we'll start today.
My mom keeps telling me that.
Looks like CLG are going to go right into a little mid-heavy hold here. I think Liquid have other ideas. They want to change the pace immediately. Ethan, sauce from Elige. Ethan's going to show us a main smoke from default. That's very safe. Doesn't have to peek at all for that one. As it will slow down Liquid. One counter flash, one smoke will keep them there, but When you do something like that right at the beginning of the round, you're trying to get something like this to happen, a quick flank, where Ricky actually catches JDM. He was the only one ready for it. And Ricky knows he has bomb. In the meantime, it's a Liege up highway as the round starts to get a little flustered for everybody. But it's flustered in CLG's favor.
Yeah, Ethan taking twist. Big win to find. They're going to try and boost up Stan late to retake middle. If they can make it work, it'll open up a lot of options, especially getting highway. Bomb is still in the hands of Nitro, and we'll wait to see if he can find room toward A. He might jump up. Oh, low HP. Just one bullet would have taken Kusta down, but he gets information they can set accordingly. No one to peek behind quad. Nitro now has to be the one to find the angle.
Keep an eye on the minimap as well. You may see Ricky make a play if they hang around a bit too long.
They're definitely committed to it at this point. So he'll be on their heels at some point in time, whether it's needed or not. Nitro and Stan are going to walk it in to try and make straight contact, no peeking. They still don't know if they've lost highway, I don't think, because no one re-peeked mid. So Ethan's still looking that direction. Kusta instead, though, in the corner, 15 HP, should be taken down. Stan goes over the top to find both. Now it comes down to Ricky's timing, and they'll have to wait it out. Cutler's going to slow position, and he's got an MP9 at this range. Essentially useless. He'll have to close the distance to Stan, who has been absolutely incredible this round, to be completely honest with you. He could go down by virtue of the SMG and 23 HP in his hands, and he will, but it's Nitro that's going to trade it. Double peek, and it works for Liquid. They find their 11th round.
It's questionable to me, the two players at quad. They have a little bit of a crossfire setup. Ethan's holding the ramp and highway, but the other player isn't jiggling. I forget who that was.
Kusta behind the...
Yeah, he seemed... I understand the setup, but when you have a man advantage like that, maybe you want to get a little info.
Well, the reason he doesn't is because he had 16 HP,
yeah.
And he's hoping the second player at red is going to be in position so that he can at least trade off of them. But the fact that Stan went over the top completely, it ruins it. Because if they swing, he's got the headshot lineup, but as soon as they go over the top, there's nothing he can do.
Just a bunch of unfortunate circumstances.
And even if he 1-1 trades it, you could argue, because then it would have left him with just one player left on Liquid. So 2 versus 4 clutch, but as soon even if he could trade one, if Nitro had stepped out sooner than Stan over the top, then it may have still been enough to win them the round.
Coming down to minor technicalities now. As Ricky will stay towards top cat. Again, a little more A-heavy for CLG. When they have an op and ramp 4 into it. Gotta take a little bit of chance and risk, as Ethan will push up.
To go back to that last round, just while Stan takes out... Okay, Ethan, good response, I guess. All things considered.
Yeah.
But to go back to that last round, just the one thing that really irks me more than anything is that CLG didn't do anything to discover if they were still in mid or not, because there was contact made toward highway when Kusta was jumping, and then they just sat back and rested, expecting that they were going to walk up, and no one checked it. So if they had have known that they were both coming from A main, they probably would have positioned in a different fashion.
Well, with a 1-for-1 for Liquid, and even trades always go in the T's favor, generally speaking, if the buys are even. And it looks like they're about to commit to B. And Ethan, instead of going to site, fell towards tree. And he's actually going to run through with his op. Catches twist. No refrag potential. He will actually just barely get out of there. That is risky from Ethan, but a play he had to make.
No man advantage, no bomb planted yet, which gives them ample opportunity to set for the retake. It does go down inevitably, but Nitro walked on top of the platform as well, and Cutler is still trying to battle off with the Liege. If Cutler wins the battle against the Liege, you're going to have, okay, I was going to say a massive chance at the retake because there would be no one inside of main, and they could swarm the site. But with him going down, it gives the Liege the prime real estate, and even though FNS trades on JDM, Liege is able to cross it up. Ricky's made it back up for it. Watch the fact that Nitro, oh, does he not have vision? No. How does he get away with that? Because he's easily in vision of Ricky. I think Ricky plays 4x3. I'm not sure about Nitro.
No kid.
But they almost could see each other. No kid. That's close.
It is going to be close.
He's going to hold it. You have to at this point in time. Otherwise, it goes 12 rounds Liquid. I think he's got it. No, it doesn't. Man, oh, man.
The fact, Ricky's holding checkers there.
Yeah, he walked in back to the wall.
Yeah.
I'd love to see that again in slow-mo because I'm pretty sure Nitro is tunnel vision to the site. I'm pretty sure Ricky plays 4x3.
4x3 and holding checkers or something.
I'm trying to think of who.
He must play 4x3 in that situation.
JDM does. I know that. But JDM is not the one that was alive. So.
Nitro. Yeah, I don't know. That's some weird timing going on. And it always favors Liquid, at least seemingly, into this series.
I don't think Nitro... I can't remember. Maybe he does as well.
It's just Ricky is just... They weren't ready for Nitro to walk around front default. I guess that's all it was. And this is their, this is CLG's final pause. They used 3 in the first half, right?
If you're keeping
Don't
track,
quote
good on
me.
you.
I think this is pause number 4 from CLG, their final one. And a 12-7, when your economy's broken, you just lost a rifle round and retake that perhaps you could say you should have won. Times are getting tough.
Still behind bags as Nitro take down FNS. Now the fact that there's 2 there is interesting. They missed the Molotov completely. It's actually pretty easy to throw, to be honest. You just have to hit the pillar behind the bags, but Nitro still gets the shot, and it's a pretty straightforward round for Liquid to find 13. Taking out Ethan in the process, and Ricky's back to his old tactic.
I think I just heard of someone on Liquid say, look out for the Zeus.
Yeah, he plays it every single round in this situation. Molotov off the angle, tagged once.
Ooh.
And he's going to pull it back out. Vent blown out. Could actually find it. Nitro's aware, so he's not going in, and misses. It's Elige to get the kill.
You gotta admire it still. Maybe he has one of the most highest Zeus kill ratings as any pro.
I mean, he's the only one that seems to still use it, so I wouldn't be surprised if he had the most kills with it.
So now CLG, question here lies, will Kusta, nope, that armored buy is a no-go on the op for me. And Ricky's actually the one to pick it up glass cannon. So they will swap mid-game, although Kusta did have money for it on an kind of an interesting note.
Yeah, I think these points just get pushed through. Nitro straight contact. What a flash through as well as Cutler. Back turned, and even still, they had a second player toward highway that couldn't even compensate for it. They lost position. It's going to be a long rotation around from FNS as a result. He wants back into Z connector to control middle. In fact, forget that. He wants B. They're going to concede middle early. The response will be to try and take some information toward A main.
Successfully so, as Liquid control mid, you split the site and do things like that. As Kusta gets caught through the smoke, now Liquid are going to go towards B, and it's another clean entry. Ricky gets caught with the op out and outside of a smoke, as it's just Ethan. Liquid, I think it's safe to say at this point, they'll hit 14. Try as Ethan may. He'll need some kind of...
Did they run boost Elige back up? I didn't catch if they did or not.
They may have, actually, because one player swung in tree and died, and he didn't see another one. Maybe.
Either way, this was the start of it. Nitro just self-flashing himself. Okay, so it actually did catch FNS. I thought FNS was inside smoke and could actually still swing behind White, but he got caught by the same flash, so fair enough. Because I expected him to go for the repeat.
Oh,
but
Nitro's doing 1920. You just let us know.
Oh, really?
Nice guy.
I think they were actually discussing it between each other.
They were.
Yeah, same play probably.
He's just going to simply get up towards mid. Tags up Ethan. And now, we could again get mid control. Just being the bullies in here towards mid, knowing that CLG's buy here is just rags. But they will turn it to riches next round, maybe.
Be pretty late for that.
Yeah.
Ricky Small Pit. Not a 5-7 this time. We saw him play 5-7 there yesterday and actually work wonders with it, but this time he'll sit back with P250. Same sort of damage potential, but not as much spam. 20 bullets in the 5-7, obviously. Just a pre-fire to the corner of the box, and Ethan's closer than that, but can't get the shot with the Deagle in return. FNS to swing and just die to JDM. Twist doesn't even have to do anything.
Ricky the only one to get a kill for CLG, and it was on the B lurk. He gets shut down. Ethan, okay. Maybe his Deagle will have something going for him here. As he will pick up an AK for his troubles, and JDM just going to get out of there, not to stick around much longer. As they will smoke and get the plant. A retake they must go for. There's really no argument in that. As Ethan, it's really going to have to be the man to find the entries back into this site. And as soon as the smoke fades, Nitro will see him. Goodbye. And he immediately transitions towards Kusta. This is going to be 15 for Liquid. One more round, and they're off to the major qualifier, the final one.
Yeah, well, and the final this afternoon against Misfits for the sake of formality. And I think Liquid will definitely go into that Full guns blazing. I won't rest on the fact that they've made the qualifier. They want to prove the misfits that yesterday was not meant to happen. But CLG, yeah, they've been definitely outgunned, I think, by not only Liquid waking up and wanting to prove a point today, but also looking a little bit slow.
Can I not count?
Can you?
This is a 5th pause, if my counting is correct.
It may have been that it was called by Team Liquid early.
Could have been called, but yeah, that's true. We don't specify, but I'm assuming they've been all CLG. Maybe it's not a safe assumption.
I don't remember 4. I think, I don't know. I'm not.
Maths is not my strong suit.
This is why there's usually a graphic that tells me. But it's fine.
That's all right.
That's the trick to my casting, is that I don't actually know anything. I get told everything. Henry's the smart one.
Is he?
Depending on what the topic is. No, he's pretty
That's a
intelligent
good
guy.
cover. Well, double up for CLG, perhaps in what is the final round here between these two teams. And already FNS actually got legged down through a wall, I think, from JDM. As he tried to push up close mid. It comes at a cost. As Bomb Malone and Squeaky may come with some kind of price tag to it. But this is going to be explosive from Liquid at a moment's notice.
So late door play for Nitro. As soon as they go aggressive, they're going to find kills. Oh, Ricky gets a double 2-for-1 collateral and follows it up by getting Elise. If he finds Nitro, what a round it would be. That's exactly what they wanted on the AWP. Needed that much sooner, to be completely honest. I was going to say, as soon as they make contact on A main, that's when Nitro would peak, but what a find from Ricky.
The stars just aligned for him into that. CLG still have a long way to go and will need more than just Ricky to have some moments like that. Granted, he's having a good game, 21-15. Ethan's up there with him. I mean, they've been trying. No lack of that.
Yeah, it's a lot of late kills and exit kills on that too, though. You keep
Yeah.
it keeps the economy honest, but if you're never breaking them, that doesn't make a big difference. Yeah, solid round finally on the AWP for Ricky. Good aggressive play. CLG to get information. This time, however, they go 1-for-1. Kusta pulls back JDM and takes the op out of the T side. But even still, Ethan will get back toward the A site, which they gave up a lot of ground on early to contest middle. So they're taking risks on their setup on the CLG side.
There you go, Ricky. Oh, he gets a lead as he pushes in towards Useless, but gets caught as he tries to fall back in towards B. So man advantage gets turned into an even stance. It's always favorable for the T's, and you can see why. It makes these CTs feel obligated to do something, and Ethan in mid catches standing Useless. And now this attack is quite one-sided as Nitro's going to come out towards the A site. The bomb carrier goes down. It's Nitro 1v3, 10 HP, and a 1v2, and he needed to hit that one.
As soon as he missed that spray, he was done for. Ethan repeats it. CLG find 9. Now the question is, as the money gets broken down, how disciplined, I suppose you could say, does Liquid want to be? They've got 7,200, I think, for Nitro. Yeah, he should distribute the wealth, drop some pistols, and perhaps they just sit tight.
Yep.
Still on map point. Overtime secured, and 6 rounds still in the bag to work with.
Still a nice cushion.
A lot of teams might have tried to force by there, so it's good to see they won't. Koos to the one back on the op this time. Ricky will stay on the rifle. Ethan thought about smoking off A main, but now he'll get aggressive instead and play toward MBK.
Takes 1 kill on the A site and a smoke. They can isolate Ethan, smoke off FNS. Sometimes that's all it simply takes. They're making a lot of noise while doing this, though. So there's not a lack of cues here for CLG, but we know it's a ruse.
Right side red for Ethan to spot A main. Gives him more movement, less utility to shut him down as well as they Molotov off toward quad if they were going to. There's obviously, as we can see, not one. But that's his anticipation. Door open. Smoke goes deep, but FNS isn't sure if there's still someone on the left or not. So smoke deep toward tree. for Stan mid-side as well as Elise runs and guns. They want to try and isolate Ricky inside of the site. He's got an M4 lineup though watching toward quad. Checkers easily cut off as a result of it. 2 quick kills. Cutler walks back through. Forget the fact that the smoke's down. He's got all the confidence in the world to do so. Further flash to limit Stan. Cutler wants to close this, get on to the next round, and we get within double digits for both sides.
It's good to see rifle rounds going CLG's way, at least.
Well, Anti-Eco's better at this point.
That's true.
This one's certainly a rifle round, though, because Elige and Co. have tons of money to buy up. In fact, they WP for Nitro. Interesting.
Oh, he tossed it.
I was going to say, I don't see a decent spawn. There's no reason for him to hold on to that.
Yeah.
Drops it over to JDM.
Walking on eggshells. CLG. As they've been getting picked towards mid, so you can see the change here as they actually fully concede it and just spot it. And we are going to finally, for the first time, we're going to see a double shroud. Look at this. Ethan and FNS will double up. So FNS will be the first one to swing and bait for Ethan. It's a very committed bait and switch with Kusta floating around with the opposite quad.
Stan smokes ready. Backside of the forklift. Actually, excuse me, that's going to be a high side on top of the catwalk, so it covers corner. No one can climb above it. Bounce smoke will cover the cat instead. JDM, good contact play with the AWP. Clears quad, but they still have to deal with the fact that Ethan's above. He's going to go full shroud. He's got everyone in front of him. Turns down, takes down 2. In fact, they're all lined up, and Ethan gets 4, making an ace as he covers the corner, and patience pays off for Ethan.
Jeez, so much trigger discipline for such a young guy. And he will show you what the whole play was there with FNS. Somehow, JDM spots FNS, but this from Ethan. You need individual plays like this, especially when you're trying to grind a game back. And that's certainly one that will sting.
That's actually one of the best trigger disciplines. That might beat the Shroud 1 versus 3, and the fact that, okay, yeah, they're on that point. It's been a pretty lackluster game, but he played that perfectly. It's exactly why that position's so powerful.
Didn't miss. Liquid maybe are starting to feel the heat a little bit here. CLG on their CT side are certainly coming into their own.
Well, they've got to force overtime. They've got momentum. Twist will get 1 back on FNS, but Pistol's only 4 Liquid, and the fact that Twist only has 2 HP. For CLG, Ethan spots Elige trying to clip through the edge of the smoke. Good shot, JDM, but unfortunately it's the wrong target as he kills Twist.
Nothing wrong with a little bit of friendly fire. It's not in the Navy, so we're okay. As CLG will go back to the double up. Last time they actually had this out, didn't find too much success. As Liquid will get the complete buy on the table and everything. It's starting to look great for CLG. As Liquid will settle in across the entire map field. JDM holding for B push. Stan won't worry about Squeaky. And the rest just hold the extremities. A slow one into this.
So FNS to watch doors. Ethan wants to get aggressive again. He's been assertive toward A. There's no question about that. It's been a lot of the reason why they're back into this game, to be honest. 10-5 is where we sat at half. But Ethan's not only that incredible ace, but aggression toward A main. Resounding. They've lost a man early. It's Ricky. Flash out for Elige. It's FNS that's the next in line. Watch the repeat. Good Molotov. Won't allow so. No trade against Elige as a result. Utility to cover him off, and it's now the advantage and perhaps the end of the series. As Kusta gets found by Twist. Solid entry from Highway through the smoke. It'll allow the plant that Ethan has to retake and reclaim the position by which he got aggressive. By going back to the site found by Stan, and I'm afraid even his best efforts not enough to keep CLG in it. In a 5 versus 1, Cutler has a smoke, has whatever he wants for utility, but not much of a chance, let's be honest.
They're all going to peek him now, and that is it. Liquid will move on. Not only get to play in the grand final for a little bit of cash, but they will go to the offline final close qualifier for the major. Which it's been a long fight for them throughout this qualifier, and it's good to see Elige and Twist finally settling into their own again after what was a rocky and perhaps disappointment amongst them at one point.
Did at least get to see one of the fastest aces in a long time, and
that was quick.
Incredibly good trigger discipline from Ethan. could transfer as well, but unfortunately not enough. And Liquid, look, I think this series could have been a lot closer for a couple of facts. I think CLG was extremely slow starting. Very, very, very slow starting, obviously, on Inferno. And they looked to wake up late, but their T-sides still were a little lackluster, even on their map choice. As we mentioned, there was one round in particular, I mentioned it, FNS walking into site after they'd already Molotov behind Forklift and still not checking the obvious corner. So Liquid took advantage. They've always been good at finding information on the CT side. Elige was a prime example, getting so much information at A-main pretty much every single round that allowed them to secure mid, secure the vents, and cover off B in the process. So really good default from Liquid and not enough, I guess, information gathering from CLG on their discipline, or their defaults on the T side. Yeah,
and you could tell that the opposite was just perfect for Liquid. They knew when they get information gathered. Elige multiple times ago in A-main.
Every time.
Yeah, and the vent was just on lock. And you got to hit those mollies.
I mean, you could see when the momentum was switching. Ricky seemed to get really, I guess, rather annoyed when he finally got the ops quad shot. And that was when, once they got control of some of the economy and the ops were getting the kills and finding map control for them, it was really working out well for CLG. I think if they started CT side, we might have had a much, much closer game. But nonetheless, we've got our two teams to the final. We've got our two teams for the major qualifier for the road to Boston as well. Liquid expected, but not the way we would have thought coming from the lower bracket. And Misfits, the dark horse, will play off in the final. We've got a longer break as a result because Liquid needs a little bit of a break. They don't want to play 3 games back to back to back to back. And Complexity, in the meantime, will have a fan meet during that time. So
go meet Legendary Warden and the new Young Guns on Complexity.
Why not? I've done it a few times.
We'll do it again. We'll be right back for the grand final.